Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minions with me tonight are Useless.
Hello, how goes it?
And Adam.
Hello.
And I'm the keeper for the night, Sanguine. How are both of you doing tonight?
Alive and kicking.
That's good to hear. Always better than the alternative.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Adam?
Well, he stole my bit, so I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm alive and dancing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of the same bit, but it's not.
Yeah, I can't dance, so, you know.
And I can't sing.
And for the chat engagement, which Yakuza did you just finish, Terry? Was it Kiwami, or was it Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
I got
Yakuza Like a Dragon?
I guess I got the games for free. Are they worth even playing?
Say again?
Well, I got some of the games for free on Epic. Are they even worth playing?
Oh, the Yakuza games are fucking amazing.
Is it? Wait, is it like the PlayStation where they give the free games a month?
Well, Epic gives you a game every week.
Every week, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shit.
They aren't always the best games, but
No.
every now and then they'll have a fairly decent one up.
Well. Hey, and sometimes you find yourself a new experience that you didn't know you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've probably noticed, Terry, because I noticed that you were playing Kiwami at one point. You probably have seen me pop up saying that I'm playing Yakuza Kiwami as well. I am going through the Yakuza series. I ended up playing them entirely out of fucking order with the starting game because I did the most recent Yakuza first. And then I went back to Yakuza 0, and now I'm working my way through the chronological order rather than just continuing to play them back-asswards.
Yeah, I never played them. I never heard them before. So, I heard people talking about them, but never.
They're amazing. So,
yeah.
You know how in Western games about gangs and shit like that, you kind of had the Grand Theft Auto route, and then you had the Saints Row route.
Yeah.
Where Grand Theft Auto tries to keep a bit more reasonable, throws in humor every so often, but it doesn't go as absurd. And then Saints Row just goes completely fucking nuts with like, hey, your gang leader's now the president of the United States at the start of the game, but oh yeah, aliens attack and you're thrown into a simulation. Have fun with that shit. You get superpowers. Fuck yeah.
It's like a 5-year-old wrote it, you know.
Yeah, in the most glorious of fashion.
Yeah. Well, it's like that show X-Cop. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that one.
It's written by a 5-year-old too. So
nice. But the Yakuza games effectively do both at the same fucking time, and it's amazing for it. Because there's really dark moments in the Yakuza series.
Yeah.
That when it goes dark, it can go fucking dark.
Well, that's the good thing with some comedies, you know, just should go like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And then it'll be like you're talking about how someone was just brutally murdered in front of you, and it will reach the point where you're just going, man, this is almost a bit crushing at this point. And right as you're at that point where you're going, okay, this is getting a bit heavy, it'll be like a 9-year-old girl asking what a soapland is. By the way, soaplands are a way of doing whorehouses in Japan.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, it's illegal to do prostitution, but if you go to a bathhouse and you're paying for the bath and they just happen to fuck you afterwards,
Yeah.
you didn't pay for the sex, you paid for a bath.
Yeah. You just got lucky.
Yeah, that's what a soapland is. Where it's that everyone knows exactly what you're doing, but according to the law and how everything's written up, you're okay. You haven't broken any laws.
Yeah. It's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And it's just absolutely fantastic because, like I said, it will go dark and then it'll just have that injection of humor at the right moment. And the gameplay is over the top in the most fantastic of fashions. So it just keeps on hitting both of the high notes at just the right moment for them to work.
What are moments in like in Grand Theft Auto 5 where you have to do something and it hits you hard? You know, like that one part in the game where you had to blow somebody's head off with a cell phone. Remember that part in 5? Even though I knew it was coming, I still did it, and so I was like, "What the fuck? I just did that," you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the sad those moments too.
It has a bunch of moments where it's like, "Damn it, fuck."
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be very vague while describing some of these things. In Yakuza 0, there's a character who, in Yakuza 0, you're playing two different characters bouncing back and forth between them. And there's a character who, in one of the characters' stories, is an absolute asshole. To the point where you're going, yep, fuck this guy. He's almost completely inexcusable. I mean, dude shoots someone just to get a point across. Yeah. And it's not like it was in a venue where it made sense for him to shoot them to get the point across. It was just, yeah, that girl over there, bang. I have no problem fucking killing people type deal.
Yeah.
And then later on, you see the same character while playing the other main character of the game. And it kind of explains how he got there. And it doesn't really make him sympathetic, but it makes it so that it seems like the character isn't just completely fucking mental. And it also makes it so that the character looks like they're going to have a redemption arc.
Oh, yeah.
Really well done. And that's how all the games that I've played thus far have been, where you don't just get the completely counter from reality, cartoonishly evil person.
Yeah.
You get people that, as you go through, you're going, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And it'll make you love a character one moment and then be going, this motherfucker, the next moment.
I see the storytelling now. You want that.
Mm-hmm. So I definitely recommend the Yakuza series to people who haven't played it. It is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I've never played any of the Yakuza series, so this is this is way outside of my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it looks cool though.
If you like the third-person action RPG where it's fist fighting rather than guns, Yakuza 0 through, what is it, 6? I want to say it's Yakuza 6. Yeah, it's 0 through 6 are up your alley. If you like effectively JRPGs, Yakuza 7, also known as Yakuza Like a Dragon, because 0 through 6, you're following one character and the gameplay remains consistent between all those games. Yakuza 7 or Yakuza Like a Dragon, it's a different character that you're following. So they decided, we're telling a different story. We can have a different gameplay. We can change things up. It doesn't have to stay exactly the same. We'll have things that you recognize, touchstones, certain characters that pop up, but this is someone else's story. It doesn't have to play out the same way because they aren't the previous protagonist. Which I think is a really cool way of working that.
Yeah.
Because not only do you have a different protagonist, but then you have a different feel to the game where it doesn't feel completely divorced from the series. It just is obviously taking place in the same world. It's just a different person and a different story because it's a different person.
Yeah, what's coming to do in the Far Cry games, you know?
Say again?
What's coming to do in the Far Cry games? Like the first 2 were just first-person shooters, and the
Yep.
3 to 4 went to open world RPG kind of thing. So different character each time. So
yeah, and if you do that right, it comes across amazing and kind of builds with the. This is a different thing.
You know, a lot of games come, formulaic after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Assassin's Creed games, they're pretty much all the same game now, with a few tweaks here and there.
Oh, and Terry just said, as once you learn a specific move, boss fights become a lot easier. If you want to talk about boss fights becoming a hell of a lot easier, once you figure out how to properly farm Mr. Shakedown from Yakuza 0, things just become insane with like, oh, I'm at the big boss and I'm now level 50 something of my special style and oh, I killed him. Shit.
Yeah, it's probably get a little overpowered. The problem is like Final Fantasy games, you get way overpowered and just,
But even then, the story is still able to drive you on, even when you're going, oh yeah, I just became Death Incarnate, roaming the land, fucking up everyone's day. You're still able to go, man, this fucking story.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see creative use of callback to Metal Gear Solid. What was the boss's name? Shit.
Which one?
Well, no, he was looking at your memory card and taunting you with.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking because there's 2 people that had mental powers, effectively. There was Psycho Mantis, who did some of that. And that was the one where you actually had to unplug the controller and stick it in the other port.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Then there was, from Snake Eater, the Sorrow. And then I want to say it was Psycho Mantis did the.
That's what they're saying in chat, Black Romeo.
No, yeah, Psycho Mantis.
It is Psycho Mantis? Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Because I could have sworn he was the one who was like, oh, I see you like Final Fantasy and shit like that. You know, like I think it would be God damn it! I think it would be interesting to see a callback to that, to where you're playing a game and it looks into what you've been playing and
Mm-hmm.
it uses that against you.
That would be interesting.
Well, it'd be a fun gameplay mechanic that, I mean, honestly, it hasn't been used since, has it?
There have been a couple games that have recorded shit either that you did in game, and then even if you reload a save, it still remembers. Undertale was the most recent one that really did that, where
Oh yeah.
you could handle a fight one way and then decide, no, I don't want to do it that way. You reload the previous save. You do the fight the other way, and then the next character's like, I saw you fucking murder her and then try to...
That's if you beat the game. And you beat the game as aggressive. And you play it again as passive, it tells you, yeah, we know you're doing it again as passive, so we know you're not really like this.
It does that even if you don't do the entire game as aggressive. If
you go to a certain point.
Go against Mother Goat, right? That's the character's name. If you kill Mother Goat, and then you go, oh my god, I feel miserable for that, and you reload and you beat her passive, then Flowery will just, I saw you. You fucking murdered her, and then you reloaded. Like, you could just play with lives.
Yeah. That game's hard as play as passive though.
Mm-hmm.
I tried.
But yeah, there's a number of games that have used kind of remembering even if you try to reload something. And I think there's been at least one or two others that have referenced your save data for other things. Let me quickly check.
Well, I know Batman Arkham Asylum did that, messing up your game to make it look like it was going breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Some other games like on the Super Sega did that.
Yeah, well, hey, even on the Genesis, X-Men 2, you had to hit the reset button. So I think there was I think on the Nomad you can't get past a certain level because you couldn't hit the reset button. I think maybe the Genesis 3. I don't know.
I think it was one of the X-Men games. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, it's fun when games fuck with your head like that.
Yeah. But now they wanted to make it more easy to take out boss fights because, journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, to help the journalist, or?
Well, no, journalists are claiming the games are too hard for them, so they want to make it easier.
Oh.
So there's a boss skip mode.
Yep.
Well, that's for boss skip
I
mode.
did see that, yeah.
Or just the story mode.
Yeah. Oh, there's some games like that already with story mode. So like, oh great, yay.
Oh no, I'm talking, there's people that have been pushing for story mode, which is effectively, you click that, and it gets rid of the fights, and it's effectively just the story clipped together.
So,
where it's just like, oh, okay, you just decided that you wanted to demand that games have a mode that gets rid of the game?
Go watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, even at that, it's like you can find that entertainment and gameplay.
Yeah. Just go to YouTube. Go to YouTube, find someone that you enjoy the gameplay of. You can have your pick between people that just do the gameplay without any commentary going. There's people that do gameplay and commentary.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, that's probably where they're trying to have their selling point, you know. So maybe muting the gameplay.
Well, that's probably how they did the review to begin with, you know, like watch gameplay, you know.
Well, and, you know, and put on your, you know, your favorite soundtrack and or other podcast. Hey, you know what? Even put on audio track. Hey, and that reminds me of our sponsor for today. Audiobooks.com.
Audible.
Oh, wow. Well, we're not getting money for that one.
You messed it up. We're fired.
God damn it.
Yeah, there's,
Sorry, guys.
it's absolutely insane the things that people are demanding games do. Where I'm going, okay, you're just trying to get rid of the game aspect. If you don't want to play the game, but you want to know the story, find a streamer that you like that is going through the game. Find Let's Plays that you like that are about the fucking game and enjoy. Watch the story. Watch them play the game so that you don't have to. Figure out the story and boom, you don't get left out of not being able to reference a story point from a game.
You kind of hard to do, you know, stream for Skyrim, you know, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I mean, we gotta acknowledge that there are people who find the enjoyment of discovering the story as they play along.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, by all means, go do that.
Play the game yourself, yeah. But
Yeah.
if you're saying that there should be a way of you going through a game, finding out the story without having to fight things and, you know, play the game, the way that you do that is you watch videos on the game. Because there's games that I can say I don't really have that much of an interest in playing because of the mechanics of the game, but are really fucking cool watching someone play. Like, I suck absolute donkey dick at rhythm games.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot play rhythm games to save my fucking life. Watching someone play a rhythm game and do it really fucking well, that's impressive as shit.
Wait, hold on. What kind of rhythm games are you talking about? Are you talking about like that Hyrule rhythm game that came out on the Switch, or are you talking about like Dance Dance Revolution, where you see these dudes like
I'm talking more the former sort.
Oh,
Dance or DDR has always just been a okay, I guess. But watching someone play, like the Japanese have a fuck ton of absolutely insane rhythm games that they're beautiful to watch. And seeing someone hit all those points perfectly, oh my god, it's beautiful.
I don't even think it's real. I think it's the first form of CGI.
I thought you were going to say the first form of AI just programmed for rhythm games.
I was trying to...
But, yeah, those games, beautiful as hell. I enjoy watching people play them. I can't play them for shit.
Same here.
The absolutely insane Japanese bullet hells, those are interesting to watch. Every now and then, I feel like it's going to send me into a seizure, and I don't have problems with flashing lights, but goddamn, the flashing lights and colors.
Wait, you talking about like the or like the Gradius type shooter? Gradius, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how people enjoy that. Where it's like bullet hell. I think it's
Bullet hell, what do you call those games? And watching someone play a bullet hell and do an amazing job at playing a bullet hell, that's fucking awesome. And some of those games have interesting stories. So, hell yeah, I'll watch a person stream that. But there's a lot of games where if I start watching someone play a game and I go, that looks like something that's amazing, I'll want to play the game before I start watching the rest of the stream. The moment I realize this game it looks like something that I would have fun playing, I want to play through it myself so that I don't spoil any of the story. But then afterwards, yeah, there's like, I'm going through and watching people play Yakuza 0 now because it was a fun as shit game, and hearing other people react to the insanity in Yakuza 0 is awesome. Hearing other people's opinions on what they liked, what they didn't, that's fun. But you're never going to hear me say, well, someone should make a shmup in such a way that I can beat the shmup without having to get good at shmups. No. Keep the shmup how it is. Shmup is another way of referring to bullet hells. Keep them how they are. Let the people that are good at those games and enjoy those games. And if I want to find out the fucking story, I watch a streamer that's amazing at it. And I enjoy the, what the fuck? How the hell are they doing this shit?
Well, that's when you can sit back and enjoy some popcorn and, watch and figure out if, but that's the thing. Look, if the game creator developed a deep story for this shmup, this is the opportunity for other people to be able to appreciate said story, right? Like, they're watching somebody of skill to be able to, navigate the obstacles and
find the 1 pixel of screen space where there isn't a bullet.
Yes, because we are talking bullet hell.
Yep.
And they managed to get. These are the historians that are sitting in the back and just like writing down, and this is what happened. Blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Sorry,
I took a bite at the wrong time, apparently. Everyone else shut up.
My allergies kick my ass right now.
But, wait. No, yeah. That's but that's what we're looking at.
But yeah, it just drives me crazy because it's one of those things. Everyone's heard me talk about how I am looking forward to when we're able to start physically augmenting ourselves. Because I'm all for swap my bits for robot parts. Fuck it. Let me get rid of my left arm, left leg. Get something better. Hell yeah.
You want robot bits?
You want robot arms?
I want a robot arm, yeah. If they come out with a robotic arm that's as strong and about as durable, and doesn't really have to be exactly as durable, just about as durable as my left arm is, and I'm able to it's full sensory, I'm able to move it around and control it properly, yeah, left arm's gone tomorrow, robot arm, fuck yeah. But, I've said before, Cannibalistic Wizard, it is just a matter of time before there are designer genital shops. But I am all for augmentation and shit like that. Even when augmentation is in full swing and it becomes kind of the norm of society, there's absolutely still going to be unaugmented sports to my mind. Because the cool thing about sports is that that's a fucking human doing that shit. If we just cared about how quickly an object could move from point A to point B, we wouldn't be watching humans race 100 meters. No, we would have even more ridiculous dragsters do it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not as interested in races that involve cars where the cars are all massively different.
Yeah.
I think it's Formula One, where all the cars are mandated to be pretty much identical.
Most races are. It depends on the race.
And those races become interesting because then it's what the driver can do versus what the other drivers can do. Whereas if you're talking about races where, oh yeah, this is this type of car with this type of engine, over there is an entirely different car with an entirely different engine with entirely different stats for it, it becomes a bit of, okay, so the person that's winning this race, are they winning because they're the best driver, or are they winning because they have the best machine? And that's the reason why I think that even when augmentation's in full swing, we're still going to have unaugmented sports, and those will be the most popular types of sports to watch, because it is still the, holy shit, that's a person doing that.
And there'll still be the augmented vegans, hippies.
Yeah.
Augmented vegans? Oh, shit.
The ones who don't want to be augmented, augmented vegans. Hippies.
Oh, no, those would just be Luddites.
Mm.
Or the purists. Either term would probably be used.
Yeah.
But you'll have people that don't opt for it. You'll have, like I said, competitions will probably be mainly between unaugmented people. And in fighting games, it's a little bit different, because in fighting games, the characters are balanced, whereas you and I could race a car, Terry, and you bring whatever car you have, I bring whatever car I have, and one of our cars could be twice as fast and have better handling. So it is entirely unbalanced, whereas with fighting games, people can change characters. All the characters are somewhat balanced around, so yeah, this one's a little bit slower, but they have a longer reach. This one's faster, but a shorter reach. Shit like that. It's having the balance that matters the most.
It's the hardest part, though, too.
Mm-hmm. Which, unfortunately, is one of the things that killed my favorite type of RTS were the what's the proper term for it? Where it is, they don't just have recolors of the same units. There's a specific term for that type of game, and I'm blanking on the term. But my favorite type of RTSs were where each army had an entirely different feel. And due to that different feel, you had to play them differently. Whereas a good chunk of RTSs now seem to have, well, over here is this army. This is its heavy unit, which is a massive isometrics. Yes, isometric RTSs, hell of a lot more fun than symmetric RTSs, because when you have symmetric RTSs, it becomes, okay, this army over here has their big bad vehicle, which is a tank of this description. It can shoot this number of blocks, and it's painted red. And over on the other side, you have this other army that is entirely different lore-wise, but it has its big bad unit of a tank of the exact same description, exact same abilities as the previous tank, but it's painted blue.
Yeah.
These aren't two different armies, then.
Wait, what RTS is it?
It happens in a bunch of them. So, for example, if you look at the... trying to think of probably the best example. So, with the Age of Empires series, you still have asymmetric elements to it. But if you stripped away the special units, like in Age of Empires 2, if you got rid of the English longbowmen and the French had their... it was a specific type of knight. What the fuck was their specific knight? Do you happen to remember, Adam? It's Age of Empires 2.
I only played that one, so.
Because I'm trying to remember, they each had their one special unit, and then they would have different elements of the tech tree barred off or expanded.
Yeah.
And so let's see, it was the Franks rather than just the French. And their special unit... oh, yeah, they had the Francescas. So I was wrong. It wasn't the knight. I was thinking the... what was it? Byzantines had the cataphracts. But if you took away their special units, then you have a symmetrical RTS. And those aren't as interesting to me because they aren't as fun. When you play one side, it becomes more like you've played every side of the game. Whereas
for each side, huh?
Yeah, it isn't really this army has this strategy that you can run with, and this one has that. It's just okay, yeah. You play all of the armies the exact same way.
Yeah. It's like the StarCraft. You have similar ways, but the different armies different.
Yeah, and I don't want one army to be clearly shit. I want them each to have a specialty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying.
And,
I mean, at the same end, like, at least in terms of like the Total War series, for example, like just
that's highly asymmetric.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like, it's like how you can only go so far as, yeah, there's gonna be a slinger unit, maybe a skirmisher unit, maybe a spear unit, maybe a short sword unit, maybe a medium infantry unit. Like, it's just.
But those are highly asymmetric games, the Total War series, because Yeah, you'll have an archer of some sort for almost every army, and it's not even every army when you're looking at depending on the total war. Yeah. Some of them have no archers. They have some other method of range, but it's not fucking archers. But even when you're looking at all the different armies and their archer units, you'll have asymmetry in those archer units. It's not just a palette swap from one army to another. It's...
Oh, yeah, well, no. Well, in terms of that, like, if we're looking at that, because, shit.
So...
Well, no, it's like, because I'm even thinking, like, have you played Age of Empires Mythologies?
Yep. Wait. And again, it's a highly asymmetric game.
Yeah, it's where it's the same like image, but like, come on, man, they're just reusing the same imagery. I mean, Total War even had that. Like you look at the slate or the rebels are just grayscale units of some of the other nations units, and at least the remastered kind of addressed that. They gave them some nice looking shields, but I mean it's all the same thing.
I think you're focusing on the wrong aspect that I'm talking about. So them just being a palette swap, what I mean by that is the units. So I'm trying to think of a really good example. It's an older one, but have you ever played the fuck, I just had the name of the game on my tongue and then it entirely whiffed out of my head. Stronghold series.
Stronghold.
It's an older game series.
Like Crusader Stronghold?
Yep, like Crusader Stronghold.
Yeah. I've not played it personally, but I've seen it. Like, because I would go to a friend's house and he would play it. And,
yep. So in the Stronghold series, the only difference between your army and its units and your enemy's army and its units was the fact that they were different colors. Their archers could shoot the exact same distance as your archers. And they hit for the exact same amount of damage. And
Barry says in chess, chess is a very symmetrical game.
Yep. Chess is a insane, or it is exactly symmetrical.
Yeah.
And it is interesting to see a chess game because the actual character of the players comes out more, less than the character of the army that they choose.
Yeah.
But that also makes it so that unless you start actually getting really into it, it is less interesting to play. Picking up and playing chess when you first start, you kind of end up learning okay, these are the moves that you can make, these are the moves that you should avoid, this is when it's better to move this and do that, which becomes more rote than when you're playing, just to use it because I used it earlier, Age of Empires 2, where playing the English, you can just make a fuck ton of longbowmen and be an absolute goddamn terror because longbowmen were insane.
Yeah.
Or you could use a number of other strategies. And then you go against, or you start playing the French, and the French don't have the option to make a fuck ton of longbowmen.
Yeah.
So you have different abilities, different strategies that open up.
Yeah, I think they get lazier in games these days, that's all. especially
Mhm.
with coding them, because now they're just chunk code and just full of. They're so big now.
Yeah, just give me different feels, not just recolors. So, good example of something that should be asymmetric that is highly symmetrical right now. Have either of you played PlanetSide 2?
Kind of. Just like for a little while. Got bored with it though.
So,
I have not.
so PlanetSide 2, every army's vehicles have the exact same stats as every other army's vehicles.
Yeah.
Every gun is shared between the different factions. So they have the exact same stats on those because they're the same gun with sometimes a pallet swap. That is less interesting than if there was like each of the armies in PlanetSide is supposed to be distinct, and you can figure that out when you play PlanetSide versus PlanetSide 2. PlanetSide, they had distinct shit. They were interesting. PlanetSide 2, they made everything the same. The lore of PlanetSide 2 has it where, yeah, one of the companies is supposed to be more technologically advanced than the others. So they were supposed to have more energy weapons and shit like that than the others. But they don't. One of the armies was supposed to have better long-range weapons. They don't. One of the armies was supposed to have stronger hitting, but not as long range and not as insanely accurate as the energy weapons. But they don't. They have the same weapons. So it ends up fucking up its own lore in order to make sure that everything is perfectly balanced. Because you can't get any more perfectly balanced, and everyone has access to the same exact stats for everything.
Yeah. It's easier and lazy that way.
Mm-hmm. So it becomes easier to learn a game when it's that way, but it becomes less interesting in certain respects, but also adds a bit more straightforward competitive nature to it. But there's far less experimentation when it's completely symmetric.
Yeah. It's like big mechanics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fine, because I don't really play PvP games. I play PvE games.
Yeah, but even with that, it makes it worse when you're talking about symmetry. Symmetry can work in highly competitive games, and like I said earlier, you kind of need symmetry in highly competitive. Asymmetry is a hell of a lot more fun and interesting when you're playing by yourself.
Yeah, because you want to beat the odds, you know.
Yeah, and it gives you a massive amount of replayability. I mean, Adam, how many times have you played through, pick your favorite Total War game?
um, I don't know. You know, if I think you can look at the your friends' time played individual games.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to look at mine, um, yeah, for Rome, at least the original Rome before the remastered came out.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say the remastered, I just hit over 100 over 100 hours.
Nice.
But for the original Rome, yeah, no, that's a if it's a good game, you want to play it. You want to play it, you know, and that's honestly that's the hallmark of it. That's why I don't understand why these people like. I mean, I understand why. It goes into that whole like, why are they changing this character to be like this. It's like why they're using it as a skin to try and buff themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
But a good game is a good game. A good story is a good story.
And
it's
the asymmetry that is inherent in the Total War series is one of the reasons why it is really easy to go back and play again. Because you could have played the ever-living shit out of the campaign for the Julii to the point where you could get absolutely sick of playing the Julii. But all you do is when you start up your next game, rather than clicking Julii, you go, okay, I'll play this game as Sparta.
Yep.
I'll play this game as Egypt. I'll play this, and it becomes an entirely different game to you because you now have to compose your armies differently. Where, yeah, the Julii and all the Roman factions can rely on the legionnaires who just won't fucking break 90% of the time. When you're playing as Egypt, yeah, you're fucked if you're trying to rely on a front line that won't break.
Yeah.
Well, hey, honestly, if you're playing as Egypt, I like to strengthen my naval units and then suffocate Rome.
Yep, blockade the ever-living shit out of them.
Yeah, like, fuck you guys. Don't even give them a chance to land any troops, because I mean, again, you gotta work with, and then if you're dealing with the fucking people from the steppes, you gotta, hey, I'm not gonna let your horsemen fucking work around my troops. It's a strategy.
Yep, and it comes in that you have to be strategic with the army that you have, and it's the asymmetry that makes it so that playing that game again and again and again, swapping armies, makes it as fascinating and as fun as it is. Whereas if every army in that game, Adam, had effectively the legionnaires, but they just changed the aesthetics, but all the stats were exactly the same, would it be as much fun coming up with a good army in that game?
Well, wouldn't that just be kind of like a checkers?
Yeah.
Or it's just like immediate maneuvers, like a Connect 4 even, if you want to. Like, it's it's if everything's equal, then it's just about position.
Yep. And that's what makes... So, like I said, there's symmetric games, highly symmetric games. Chess is a highly symmetric game. Chess is fascinating because it becomes the two personalities of the people playing against each other. I mean, when you watch a chess match where it was Kasparov versus... I'm trying to remember who his mentor was. Because Kasparov had one very specific style of chess, and then one of the other grandmasters that was, for a short bit, kind of like a mentor to him, and then he branched away, was this other Russian dude. And the other Russian described playing a game of chess like dragging someone into a dark forest full of thick underbrush, thorns, and brambles, and just constantly pushing them deeper in, leading them in, drawing them deeper and deeper and deeper so that they don't know what the fuck's going on. And every time that they try to move, something cuts them, and it's this very uncomfortable sensation. And then at the end of the game, you're the only one that walks out of the forest.
Sounds like a Russian thing.
Yeah, it's this. You have entirely different styles of chess. You have really defensive players, and you have really offensive players. And then Kasparov was kind of a specialist at sharp play. And sharp play is trying to force really uncomfortable, quick decisions on people.
Yeah.
So when you're watching grandmasters play, it's their personality that they're battering against each other. And what piece is more valuable to which one, and how will they maneuver and try to make the game into their style of chess versus their opponent's style of chess. That's where the interest comes from that. But so many games are trying to do that without actually having the depth of play of that. Because in order to have that type of game, you need very simple rules with complex applications.
Yeah.
And this is true of a lot of different games. So chess has really simple rules. You can explain the majority of chess rules in fairly short order and explain them in such a way that a person's able to then start playing chess. Now, it'll take them a fucking age to learn all of the interesting applications of those rules, but you can explain the rules really quickly. Another game where it's really simple rules, but unbelievably complex in its actual play is, let me quickly double check that I'm remembering the right game. Yep, I am. Either of you heard of the game Go?
Yeah. Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a East Asian game. And Go has insanely simple rules. Because its rules are you alternate play, one of you places down a stone at a time. The stones have to be touching on a diagonally left, right, top, bottom. And then when you surround your opponent's pieces, you win those pieces. That's the rules of Go. Really goddamn simple. It is one of the most complex games on Earth.
Yeah.
Because those simple rules make it so that there's a fuck ton of different strategies. Whereas the more rules that you have, the more you're limited in what you can do.
Yeah.
That's why no one really talks about the amazing complexity of playing Life by Fisher-Price.
It should be a charity stream sooner or later.
Yeah, there's a bunch of games that have all these rules, and when you have all those rules, it limits you more than it expands what you can do.
Well, roll's always been like that, though, for everything.
Yeah. But they're then trying to make themselves symmetric while having ridiculous rules. So it becomes, so it's almost down to a rock, paper, scissors game.
Yeah.
Only it's not even rock, paper, scissors because rock, paper, scissors is at least fucking asymmetric.
Well, it's random, so ish.
Yeah, but it's still asymmetric play. It's almost the quintessential asymmetric play.
Yeah, simple rules. Huh?
Yep. But yeah, so anything else you guys want to talk about now that I took a comment from Terry and rambled on for an hour?
Fucking Terry, dude.
All that was just from Terry saying that he's beat Yakuza Kiwami.
That's why you can never trust these Aussies.
Yeah.
Man, they're just like these Canucks, you know?
Not even real, you know.
And again, it's a game that I can't recommend too much, it seems, because I've been having a blast with the Yakuza series.
You know, I did want to talk about the the He-Man cartoon. It's kind of funny that the trailer came out and it actually convinced people that it was going to be a good fucking show.
This is the new one that is Kevin Smith? Was it Kevin Smith?
Yes. And I only say this because I've been looking at like things like this. Oh shit! What was the other one? There was something else. It was it's just like a betting on what they're gonna do with these things. You know, like is this? It's not even. Why even trust when Kevin Smith started retaliating against Clownfish TV or whatever their shit is, from their Twitter. I guess they just had a tweet. You should have known that this is exactly the route that they're gonna do. So yes,
I'm not sure. I saw the thing about Clownfish and him having at it. Do you want to expand upon that so that everyone?
But if as far as I can remember, I think Clownfish TV, or I don't think this is Clownfish TV, Clownfish, right? YouTube channel. They either posted a tweet or responded to a tweet about how they thought that the Kevin Smith He-Man was going to be more about Tila, and Kevin Smith immediately, like, you know, or not immediately, but you know, quickly,
Yep.
responded with, you know, you shouldn't be listening to these rumors and blah 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 and all this stuff. And I think right then and there you should have known, like, yes, that's exactly, they knew that people weren't happy with all the other reboots that were going on.
Yep.
And they knew that if there was the already, like, I don't even know set trap. Is it set trap where they dig a hole underneath the wall?
Traps. You're talking. Fuck! Why did I just blank on it?
See,
It
yeah.
is.
Either way, there's a siege attack where there's a wall and then you dig sappers. Yeah, and you dig a hole underneath the wall, and it caves in the wall. You know, I think that he was trying to avoid this, because if it got out before even the trailer came out of this show, that, you know, it was, oh yeah, He-Man's gonna be there for one episode, and then it's Tila. You're not gonna get the views, you're not gonna get the monies, and then shit flops. So it was how do we rescue this? And that's the thing, like, dude, how did you not see this coming? You know, even before his heart attack, like Kevin Smith he found out early on that his brand of humor wasn't gonna be accepted in the New World Order type shit that's going on right now. So, you know, he tried to adjust, didn't really work with like Tusk and the weird movie with Nazi bratwurst things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I don't know, man. You know, he was. Look, he did a lot of good stuff, and I wish him well. You know, but at the same end, you can tell he's. Oh, he's
Well, he's part Hollywood. You know, they're all lefties.
he's Hollywood now.
Yeah.
So He-Man. So it's I think the leaks are true. Yeah. No, yeah. He-Man's gonna fight Skeletor in the first 1 or 2 episodes, and then all of a sudden it's and Tila has to get the band back together. Congratulations, people. At least the animation's gonna look good because, you know, the animation house is good. I mean, don't lie on that. They did a good job with Castlevania, but
And it's sad that is now something that has to be actually given credit to, because it's not just, oh yeah, it's an animated series. Yeah, they're going to get good animation. No, now it's an animated series. Well, at least this one doesn't look like hot shit.
yeah. Well, oh yeah. Oh, that was one of the things because I had a little list. It was this. It was oh shit, I don't have tagged by me, but either way. But I don't understand why they were upset that why they brought She-Ra into this whole like what the fuck? It's a whole I thought it was a whole if you don't like it, it's not for you type of thing, you know?
Yeah, but it's only that way if you don't like what they're doing. If they don't like what you're doing, then how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
If you don't like She-Ra and you don't like the fact that the characters are almost completely goddamn shapeless.
Yeah, I think it was something like about the way that they were depicted or something. I don't know. It's then somebody brought up like, oh, it's just to sell toys and shit. It's like,
He-Man was always to sell toys, but that doesn't stop it from having an interesting plot.
well, not only
They
that,
have an interesting plot and sell toys. In fact, having an interesting plot helps sell toys.
well, to be honest, I mean, because I remember when the initial engine started with this, it was a continuation of the old '80s cartoon, and I was just trying to think, you know, I watched He-Man when I was a little kid, but I was a little kid, so
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's the memory's foggy. But a lot of times it was just there's a problem, He-Man solves it, and at the end, you know, he says, "Hey, don't forget to, you know, fucking
Do homework.
yeah, you know, whatever, whatever the life lesson was for the
Yeah.
episode." So I didn't think that there was like a cliffhanger for the end of the season or whatever. So I don't know why he was like, yeah, we're gonna do a continuation. And then again, that's why when it was like the trailer popped out, and that's what got me. The trailer popped out. Everybody's sitting there like, oh man, this looks awesome. It's like, dude, you guys are being fooled. This is probably the first half of the first episode. like, like you're watching the first half, and then the second half is gonna be Tila going like, you know what? I gotta go find that sword of power. I gotta go get the guys back together. How much for the children? The women.
Man, that
Get out of here.
unfortunately, this cartoon is not worthy of that reference.
I know. But that's just what I'm seeing. I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's exactly why he flipped out. And he was like, shit, you know what? The trailer, we can't show any of the other episodes. We gotta show just the first half of the first episode. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I hope that that's wrong, but yeah.
I do too. I do too. To be honest, I really do hope, and I hope we see some Burr Bears in there. You know, but I don't know. Hey, you know, hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yep. Yeah, that would just suck if it's another
You know, it's gonna be
franchise that they're just going, okay, what if we took an 80s franchise that people loved and we just drop trow, set it on the ground, and take a massive steaming dump on it?
Well, they do that with Turtles like once every decade.
Yeah, but not all of the time is it just them shitting on it.
Yeah.
They sometimes make Ninja Turtles with the intent of it being good.
Yeah.
It's just more often than not they fail, and
Yeah.
you're going, I see what you're trying to do, but
hold on. That was a point that I had on the note. Can I?
Yeah.
Could I elaborate on that?
Yep.
So there was the thing with Velma. Apparently, there's going to be a Velma TV show. I don't know, live action or cartoon or something like that, but it's a Velma, and she's going to be East Asian, as they said. I don't know why they say East Asian. It's like, what East Asian, like the Eastest of Asian is
India.
Japan.
Well, they say East Asian because they've spent so long trying to... Okay, they are somewhat accurate when they say the Middle East is part of Asia, too. And, you know, India is part of Asia. Yeah, but we all knew what Asian meant. When someone said Asian, you didn't picture a Hindi person. You didn't picture a Bangladeshi person.
I always thought those were like Southwestern, like
So-
not even Asian, like just like an off, like I'd always had like in the mindset like a whole different.
Yeah, see, the thing is that we used to have a term for just someone from Asia, the continent, and then someone from the portion of the continent that we think of when we hear Asia. And that used to be, you had Oriental Asians, and then you had Asians. And if someone was from Asia, that could mean that they're from Siberia, that they're from a bunch of the former Soviet states that are just in Asia, just over from the rest of them in Europe. It could mean that you're talking about the subcontinent, because technically India is also a subcontinent.
Yeah.
It could be that you're talking about Bangladesh. It could be any of those countries, or any of the, like China, Vietnam, Korea, Japan, all of those would be in Asia. And we used to call the China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, the Orient. And then people started going, oh, but Oriental's food, not people. Well, no, Oriental just meant that you were from Eastern Asia. And now we're just using the term Eastern Asia. Why the fuck don't we just revive Oriental?
Because it's
Fucking
racist. And,
word magic, dude.
Oriental just means coming from the Orient. And the fact that now we're making the same goddamn phrase or same goddamn meaning of something, we're just saying Oriental Asia, but saying it as East Asia. Well, it's still the fucking Orient.
Well, yeah, that's what I was kind of like. It's like half of me was like, what the hell? Like East Asian? That's kind of a broad statement, you know. Like, but either way, the idea of she's crafting a Velma, and they're making it a point of her ethnicity, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, we've already been down this street. You know, this is a thing that's been growing for me for a while. Is we're constantly running across the same arguments, and we know the answers. Why the fuck are we still having these arguments? You know, like when this, like, oh yeah, they're gonna have Velma, but she's gonna be East Asian, and it's like, we know why they're doing it. Why are we having these battles? Like, it's odd to me that it's like we're it's,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. But with this is like, and even more so because I guess she's not even gonna have Scooby Doo. You know, so then the argument, oh, well, why not just make a new character? We know why they're not making a new character. But we also know, but here's the double-edged sword. We know that they're not willing to make a new character. That's just some, you know, East Asian chick who goes off and solves mysteries. And honestly, the stories are good, the mysteries are good. I'd watch it. You know, I like a good mystery, you know?
You don't need to have her be Velma. Just make her her own fucking person, because then you would actually have something interesting. Not just, well, they say that her name's Velma, but she isn't actually Velma. She's someone else.
Well, here's the rub.
It's just setting up the character to fail.
Well, here's the onion. It's the, if it succeeds, then they can say, haha, see, it was good, it worked, and so we'll continue with it. So then Velma would then proceed to be some East Asian version of Velma. If it fails, then they'll say, you know, they can use oh, well, it's because people are racist and blah blah. And here's my receipt, as you would say. The Sam Jackson Nick Fury character. Nick Fury was depicted as a Sam Jackson look-alike in the Ultimates comic, and it worked. So then they proceeded to use, this is Nick Fury, and I guess in the comics, you know, that that's the son of the original Nick Fury. So that's how they worked him into the comic scene.
See, there's sometimes when they do the cast of a character as a different race, it doesn't bother me at all.
But that's the thing.
For good
it
reasons.
Works.
Yeah, like terrible movie, but an amazing portrayal of a character despite the rest of the movie being terrible. Daredevil was not a good movie. No one's really going to try to argue that Daredevil was a good movie.
No.
Wait, the one with Ben Affleck?
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, that was pretty bad.
But Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin?
Yeah, he was good.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, he was goddamn Kingpin. And the reason is because the important parts that you have to nail in order to get Kingpin right are you have to have someone absolutely fucking enormous
Yeah.
and just ripped as shit, but not look. He has to be the powerlifter build, not the fitness model build.
Yeah.
Dude, just
And
a
then,
fucking Kingpin.
yeah, you need a big ass dude who's strong as shit to play Kingpin. And then you need them to be able to sound intelligent. Michael Clark Duncan, big ass fucking dude, who was ripped as shit when it came to the dude's arms and shoulders. Fucking hell. And he was able to come across as intelligent and cunning. So that worked. No one had an issue with that. But then there's other characters where it isn't just you need the right feel for the character, but there's certain things that have actually been described as to how the character looks that were made a big deal of. And then they'll change those characters, and you're going, what the... You can't have the gunslinger be a black man. Idris Elba is a fantastic actor. Nothing against the dude. But the gunslinger, based on The Dark Tower, cannot be a black man. And there's a very specific reason for that.
Yeah,
because there's a character who constantly calls him honky, cracker, and shit like that, which then makes absolutely no fucking sense when it's a black man.
Well, plus in the author notes in the beginning of the books,
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Yeah, he based the character off Clint Eastwood, yeah. So.
But I'm saying that even if it had been that, yeah, he was based off Clint Eastwood, but there was absolutely no reference to what he looked like beyond that he looked like Clint Eastwood, that he had that kind of serious glare that he could do and shit like that, then it would become a bit more acceptable to change him. But when one of the characters, his interactions with one of the characters in the Dark Tower is pretty much solely that other character insulting him, calling him various terms for white,
Yeah,
and talking about how she can never trust a white person. It doesn't make sense if that character isn't white.
well, I guess it depends if they base it off all the books. If you just base it off the first one, then it's fine.
Yeah, but then that kills any sort of ability to build.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's one thing if you're changing a fictional character that doesn't already have a insanely ironclad depiction.
Yeah.
It's another thing when you have one that does have an insanely ironclad depiction. And it's another thing when you're changing historical figures. That's the one that still has me goddamn floored. The one about the... I'm trying to remember the wife of Henry VIII now. That it was... Man, today I'm just blanking on shit.
I'm not good with history, so I don't know.
Anne Boleyn.
Okay.
I got the name before I started looking it up. Anne Boleyn. The BBC is doing a series about Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn was a mistress, then wife of Henry VIII. So she was English.
Dude,
Anyone care to guess what the actress that they cast for Anne Boleyn was? Yes.
So it's a black woman in a.
It was, they cast a black woman as Anne Boleyn in a period piece that was meant to be a historically accurate period piece.
Yeah, I think that. There's this show I watched called, when I was in Texas, called The Irreplaceables or Irresponsible, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of Asian people and black people in the, in London during, what was this, 1940s, during the Holmes. They even made Watson a black gay guy. So,
Yeah, that type of shit is absolutely retarded, where you're going, what? Why the fuck are you doing this? This makes no sense. And
Yeah.
here, let me zoom in on this picture, and then I'm going to share screen and show you guys.
Hold on, Sanguine. So we're gonna team up and try out for the up and coming Legends of the Hidden Temple, right?
See, I was thinking I'm a shoo-in for Shaka Zulu. So yeah, on the right-hand side is a painting of Anne Boleyn. On the left-hand side is the BBC depiction of Anne Boleyn.
I mean, she's a really good actress and fine, but
No,
I doubt that was the reason.
But why?
At this point, when you're talking about making an accurate period piece,
yeah,
that isn't a valid argument. It's kind of like, so they would have several different options. If they had race swapped everyone, I would have less of a problem with it. If they had made everyone who was supposed to be white, black, okay, that's a stylistic choice at that point. As long as they made everyone who was supposed to be black, white, in order to make it still balance out properly. So that you'd be able to go, okay, so all the black people in this are meant to be the native English, and then that white person over there, they're meant to be from Africa. Okay, I understand what's going on. Let's rock this. No problem with that. It's kind of like if someone does an entire race swap of a Shakespearean play, or race swaps a minor character in a Shakespearean play, or even major characters in most Shakespearean plays. I don't really have much of a problem with it, as long as you aren't saying that it's the most accurate depiction of a Shakespearean, of the proper time period in a performance of that Shakespearean play. Because if you have Macbeth and fucking Ving Rhames is playing Macbeth, no, Ving Rhames does not look like a Scottish man from that time period. But then there's other things that you can't swap the race of the main character. Like, I would be absolutely pissed if someone was doing a version of Othello and they just race swapped Othello. They didn't race swap anyone else, just Othello. I'd be fucking pissed and confused, because do you guys happen to know what the defining aspect of Othello was?
No.
He was fucking Moorish. The entire thing about Othello was that he was a black Moor. So a lot of the interactions are about how he's of Moorish descent and how he's a Moor and not like everyone else. That's what makes him stick out. So if you suddenly have him be white rather than a black Moor, and you don't race swap everyone else, that interaction makes no fucking sense now.
Well, don't need to know history that well.
And, well, it's not just historical works that this pisses me off with, because it happens in literature a lot as well, where you'll have someone from a book where they describe the character in great detail. One of the ones that I'm rather annoyed with, and it has kind of put me off the entire show, is they're doing a series on the Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time is a fantastic series of fantasy. In the Wheel of Time, there's a character, Perrin Aberai. Perrin Aberai is from the same village as pretty much all the main characters at the start, with the exception of one of them. So they all should look rather similar. Perrin Aberai, though, is also described as being this enormous mountain of a person. At several points really early on, he's described as being so heavily muscled that it looks like cables are twisted beneath his skin. So, should be ripped as all shit, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
So, let me quickly pull up the picture of the actor who they cast as Perrin Aberai. Alright, Ibera. I did it the wrong way. Perrin Ibera. Not Aberai, Ibera. So, the actor that they cast as this dude is popping it open in a new window so that I can share it easier. And share screen. This dude.
Oh. Skinny guy, huh?
Yeah, so again, Perrin Aberai, described as this mountain of a person with massively corded muscles to the point where it's described as he has to get clothes tailored a shit ton effectively. He can't just grab clothes that fit on anyone else and throw them on himself. No, he has to get oversized clothes. And he's so massive that he's described as looking almost like there's these beings called Trollocs, which are like 7 foot tall mountains of angry bestial muscle.
Yeah.
And animal heads. That there are a couple times where like shit gets blacked out in the story and Perrin goes rushing into something and someone mistakes him as a Trolloc for a moment. Because they just see this massive charging thing and they're going, oh my fucking god, oh, it's fucking Perrin. You gave me a heart attack. Fuck.
Yeah, you see this guy charging at you, you're like, oh great.
Yeah. This guy is not Perrin. But this is the guy that they cast as Perrin.
Yeah.
Here, I'll pull up a picture that someone drew of more what Perrin's supposed to look like so that people that haven't read can get some image in their head. And let me share that.
Oh, I mean, that seems to be the way that everything's going nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
So this is more fitting depiction of Perrin. Big arms, big chest, big shoulder, and not extremely thin. Kind of has a bit of a gut.
Yeah.
That's more what Perrin is supposed to look like. But no. They had someone who, not heavily muscled, not very tall or anything of the sort, just fucking Bob from down the road.
Yeah. Well, I don't get it. I think they're just being lazy. They want to keep looking for, or they're paid to have that actor, you know? Or the actor did some things to get that job.
Yeah, I don't get why they keep on doing it. Because, like I said, it'd be one thing if each time, like, if we're jumping back in time, and rather than it being now that the Wheel of Time series is being made, it would have been when Michael Clark Duncan was alive and young enough to fill the role, but still built like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
And they had cast him going, look, he was the biggest fucking dude that we could find. So yeah, he's black, the rest of them aren't. I would have gone, okay, I'll give it a chance. And if he did it well, I would have gone, fuck yeah, that's awesome. He was a good cast for that. He fit. But the fact that the dude isn't built like the character, they're all from the same village, he's the only black one in the lot of them.
He got all the sun, you know.
And just doesn't have the... They got everything in the character description wrong. It's one thing if you have one thing different. It's another thing when everything is wrong.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Just stop changing people that don't need to be changed.
Maybe they didn't read the source material, you know. Got notes.
Yeah, the notes are important.
At least get someone... Every time that there's an adaptation like that, there should be at least one person whose entire job is, does this fuck up anything?
But it pays me to actually do some work. What do I do that for?
Yeah. Just someone to let you know, is this fucking up the lore any? Yes or no. Done. That's the reason why, for a good while, the Marvel movies were well received. Because they had the person going, does this fuck up the lore that we've established? No, we're still good. Okay, continue on.
Well,
And it wasn't until recently that they started fucking up their established lore.
I think I got the point they had no choice, though, too. So.
No, you always have the choice whether you're going to fuck up the lore or maintain the lore. Like, they didn't have to character assassinate fucking every character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They chose to character assassinate everyone in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I haven't seen that yet, so they killed it, huh?
No character makes it out of that unscathed, except for one character that they tried to make you dislike. And as you're watching it, you're going, this dude's actually a really just fucking quality person. Why is everyone treating him like shit? They're acting like he's evil and acting against them. Dude's just a genuine dude. What the fuck?
Huh.
Yeah,
check it out just for that part. I got to probably check it out just for that, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, it's almost frustrating how much they try to assassinate that guy's character, but he's the only one that comes out, because rather than assassinating that guy's character, they assassinate everyone else's character around him.
Wow.
They try to make him seem like a prick, but it's like, well, he's won several medals of honor. He's saving people. He decides that this thing isn't worth allowing someone to die. How is this guy supposed to be someone that you're looking at going, yeah, that asshole?
Well, that's how they see it, I guess, with that saving lives or doing good deeds, is,
Yeah, there's one point that is really goddamn confusing because this isn't really a spoiler of anything. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Bucky, are talking to this dude. And they're trying to make him sound like an asshole and like he isn't cut out to be who he is. And as a gotcha, they say, well, have you jumped on any grenades? And after asking a guy that question, he responds with, actually, yes, 3 of them. I have this thing that I do with my helmet to kind of cushion the blow, so I've been able to survive it. And they act like that's him being a braggadocious asshole. And I'm going, he didn't come up to you guys and go, hey, by the way, did you know I jumped on 3 grenades and I fucking survived? How many grenades have you jumped on, you pussy? No. He was just being this dude, bullshitting with them, and then they decided that they would put him in his place by, have you jumped on a grenade? Actually, yeah. I jumped on 3 of them.
Well, you're supposed to do, just grab up your feet.
It isn't being a braggadocious asshole when you have to be asked if you've done something before you bring it up.
Yeah.
It's not like he was the one walking around going, suck my dick, I saved people's lives and I jumped on 3 grenades. How many grenades have you jumped on, you useless fucks? Then he would be a braggadocious asshole.
No, don't use my name in vain,
Nice. But it is getting to be about that time. Do you guys have anything that we should jump into? Any topics that you're really dying to get out tonight, or?
Me? No, I'm just here to hang out.
Fair enough.
I think it's time to call it a night.
Go round the horn.
Yeah.
So, Useless, do you want to go first?
Sure, you know me. Have fun, because with only having fun. And I uploaded a new video today, the Vegemite
Nice.
and Marmite taste test. So go check that out on my channel. It should be pretty good.
Wait, what'd you taste test?
The Vegemite and Marmite.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. So it's not gonna be a spoilers if you say like Vegemite's pretty gnarly tasting, right?
It's weird. It's interesting. It's not horrible, but it's not great. So. Yeah.
That's a very diplomatic way of saying I didn't throw up, but it was close.
Well, I didn't die. Good save. Good save.
Yeah.
Adam?
Well, thank you for letting me join you as always. And as always, I love y'all and God bless.
Sounds good. And I'll leave off with my standard. If you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
Have fun.